Hello everyone, I'm Amir Alwani, your host for this 4th edition of the Potent News Blast. Right now it's 2:03 p.m. on March 4th, and I would just like to highlight a few of the recent events. StopTheDrugWar.org is where this story comes from. It says, it's by Philip Smith, from March 2nd, 2012. It is Canadian Senate passes harsh crime bill. The Canadian Senate Thursday night gave its approval to a government package of crime measures that include a number of harsh provisions, including mandatory minimum prison sentences for growing as few as 6 marijuana plants. The bill, C-10, the Safe Streets and Communities Act, now heads back to the House of Commons for final approval. The bill has already passed the House, but members will have to approve amendments adopted by the Senate that more clearly define terrorist activities and how victims of terrorism can seek compensation from groups or states that support terrorism. Passage in the Senate came after ruling Conservatives used their majority to limit debate on the measure to 6 hours. Liberals objected vociferously, but in vain. The only Conservative to vote against limiting debate was Senator Pierre-Claude Nolan, a longtime advocate of marijuana and other drug law reforms. Quote, "Canadians are expecting us to pass this," end quote, said Conservative Senator Claude Carrigan, explaining that the rush to passage was necessary because the government had promised to pass the legislation within 100 days of taking office. The best way, quote, "the best way to ensure the population is not jaded when it comes to politics is to keep our promises." Like, what is that crap? Like, well, I promised I'd rape you, so I gotta follow through on it. Come on, who falls for this? Liberals argued that there was enough opposition to the bill that every senator deserved to be heard on the issue, but that argument didn't fly with the Conservative majority. "There is no excuse for what this chamber is about to do," said Liberal Senator Joan Fraser. Quote, "We should be ashamed of ourselves." The Senate vote came despite heated opposition both from within Canada, where various polls show consistent majority support for marijuana legalization, and internationally. The Global Commission on Drug Policy this week urged Parliament not to pass the bill, while law enforcement against prohibition also urged the Conservatives to reconsider. While the bill is now almost assured of final passage, opponents have vowed to carry on the fight in the courts. Once the bill becomes law and goes into effect, look for quick challenges to its constitutionality under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Ottawa, Canada. Alright, our next story comes to us from DutchSense.com. I originally saw it before it's news.com, posted by Zen Gardner, and then I saw it on activistpost.com. This person basically predicted the recent spout of tornadoes that just happened in the US, and he has his arguments for why he thinks this is, and I think they're pretty compelling. One thing that he points out is that for some reason there's a bunch of what he calls HAARP rings, all these rings that are seen, that flash on the radar, on the weather radar. As well as some clouds that look like they're square. It's really weird patterns. And he does some analysis also of the jet streams and makes a prediction and says, you know, watch out for this region. He also had heard it from his maybe local weatherman, maybe the mainstream media, I'm not sure. But he said the weatherman also said to look for something here, and he posited that maybe the weatherman was looking at the same thing that he was looking at. So everyone should go there I'm also going to include a link to a woman praying for a tornado to go away while she sees a tornado come close to her. And that's a pretty moving video right there.
Take it, Lord, take it, Lord, take it away from us, Jesus.
Another video I'll post a link to also, this one also came from Dutch Sense, of on the 3rd, yesterday. It's titled 3/3/2012, Never in My Life. Extreme hail in Fort Branch, Indiana, March megastorm 2012. So this hail is pretty big.
In my life, have I ever seen?
You should check that video out. That's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, and I'm going to say that I really like Dutch Synth's intro music with the dubstep-ish sounds there. So, right on. Our third story comes from Land Destroyer Report, Libyan Revolution Update, Enjoying Freedom, or a look into Syria's potential future after UN or NATO operations, by Tony Cardalucci. And this article is just really highlighting an RT video that recently came out that I saw too, and it was a disgusting video, really disgusting. It really pains me to watch. But here Tony Cardalucci describes the video. He says, "Here we see Libyans enjoying their NATO-granted freedom, putting black men from the purged city of Tawerga in a zoo-like enclosure and feeding them green Libyan flags. The city of Tawerga was literally emptied out by Libya's NATO-backed revolutionaries who vowed never to allow its residents to return to their property, claiming they had forfeited it by supporting Gaddafi during the 2011 NATO operation. Refugee camps containing the tens of thousands of exiled residents have been regularly attacked." Another report can be found here in the Globe and Mail. I'm going to say there's a lot of links here in this article, so I recommend you go click on the links if you want. And now I'm going to play the actual RT video.
الله أكبر شريف، الله أكبر الله أكبر. قول العالم يا كلب، قول تعال أنت تعال أقرب جاي يا كلب أقرب. قول العالم، قول العالم، قول يا مصخ يا توارغي يا كلب يا مصخ.
Defenders of the degenerate foreign-backed revolution are quick to accuse any persecuted, tortured, or imprisoned man with a dark countenance as being hired mercenaries. But in the video, the men can be heard calling the imprisoned, humiliated men Tawergian, as in residents of the Libyan city of Tawerga, not foreign mercenaries. This video comes amid reports, including those from Amnesty International, that Libya's freedom fighters have predictably turned out to be the genocidal racists geopolitical analysts, including Dr. Webster Tarpley, had warned about since the onset of unrest in Libya over a year ago.
For more highly potent news that might change your views, go to potentnews.wordpress.com.